and welcome back, my fairies. I am Matsurific, and we are back with Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir Season 5, Episode 15, Intuition! My goodness, that is a mouthful every single time. But this also means that we now have every single episode required to watch Season 5 in order. So if you've been holding off on watching episodes 16 through 21 because we were missing episodes before then, fear not, you can now watch everything that is out without being spoiled, in order, chronologically. This is actually my third time recording this intro because the first time I wasn't actually recording. Second time, my mic wasn't on, so hopefully everything works this time around. So yeah, if you're new to this channel, first of all, welcome. The way we do things around here is I'll talk about what we already know about the episode first, then go watch the episode, and come back and let you guys know what I thought of the episode. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So we got two trailers for this episode, though one of them came out earlier this week and I haven't had a chance to watch it. So, because there's just been so much going on, we got two new episodes last week. I started reviewing Pokemon Horizons, and we got two new episodes last weekend as well, plus another episode this weekend, so that video just went out. And yeah, so it's been a very busy week for me. Plus I had a convention last week too. It's just been, oh my goodness, this week has been crazy. But anyways, so with the trailer that we did get, we know that Monarch is going to be targeting Max's mom. And because we see that, you know, she's finally living out her dream as an astronaut, so yay for her! And we see her in this the spaceship that she's using, and we also see Max and everybody are watching her from the school. But then something goes on with the ship, and then Monarch appears. Well, we don't really know the whole order of everything, but we also know that Monarch appears and does a call out to Ladybug and Cat Noir, and that they're going to transform into Astro Cat and Cosmobug, and they're gonna go try and save the day. But we don't really know much aside from that. We don't really know, like, the order of things or any of that. So that's gonna be really interesting to see. But we also are happy to only have this kind of information. We do not want to know the entire plot of the episode before it comes out, and know ahead of time that Luke is going to find out Ladybug and Cat Noir's identities, Gloob! But regardless of that, I'm gonna go watch the episode, and I will be right back. Okay, well that was a really unique episode. So yeah, apparently this was a what if episode, as in what if Gabriel decided to use Second Chance against Ladybug and Cat Noir. And it turns out he has been using it. I didn't even think about the fact that he could be using Second Chance to make sure that he wins every time, but hey, sure enough, here it is. So it turns out that he's actually been using Second Chance a couple of times, and that's actually part of the reason why the cataclysm damage to his body has spread so much. So we have seen in other episodes, I don't remember which episode it was right now, but we do know that Gabriel is going to be using technology to try and reduce the cataclysm damage that's been done to himself. I don't remember which episode that was, so I don't know if that's already happened or will be coming up soon. Well, I mean, if I don't remember which is which. But yeah, this was a what if episode, which was actually a really interesting way for them to do a what if episode, because it's just a bunch of second chances that didn't really go anywhere, because in the end, he went back to the very beginning and then didn't do anything. So the basic plot of the episode is that now that Marinette actually knows where her behavior has been coming from. We actually see her in this episode working on improving herself, which is something that I've already talked about in another video. That you know, now that she knows where her negative behavior was coming from, she's able to use that self-reflection to work on improving herself, and we see that happening as soon as the very next episode. Thank you. So yeah, so we really start off the episode. I should go back a bit further than that. When we start off the episode, it's a flashback to Glaciator, or not Glaciator. Glaciator was the villain of the episode, but the episode was, that was Exaltation. Oh no, not Exaltation. That was Exaltation. I was thinking that was before Reunion, but no. That was episode 9, Exaltation, where Glaciator got akumatized, and that was the big Mari shot episode. But at first it was like kind of confusing. It's like, oh, it's Glaciator again, and the city is on fire again, but it's a different lucky charm and a different method of defeating the villain. So instead of the umbrella through the chest, they show Ladybug and Cat Noir dropping a giant molten bell on top of him where he melts. And then they did another Lucky Charm because Monarch used a second chance to go back, but then it's a completely different Lucky Charm, and that managed, and they managed to defeat him with that. So he goes back again, and that's when we get the umbrella fishing line scene. And anytime when we could repeat that line of "My body's on fire!" that's always good for me. I love that. I love that bit. That was so amazing. It just reminds me of Dragon Ball Z Abridged. My butt is flaming! It's like, I miss Zarbon. So yeah, any chance to revisit that scene, I absolutely love it. But anyways, so we then switch to Gabriel talking with Natalie about that, and they're basically just talking about previous times when Gabriel had tried to use Second Chance to beat Ladybug, and he's like, yeah, you know, every time I use Second Chance, Ladybug's Lucky Charm adapts. So Natalie's like, okay, well, why don't you just, you know, disable Lucky Charm altogether? He's like, well, I tried that. And they show a flashback to episode 14, where they show that, you know, Ladybug got a glue Lucky Charm that she was able to use on Dark Humor, which caused his scouter to fall, or his scope to fall. I realize it's modeled after a scouter, but it is still a scope. But it causes his scope to fall so that she can smash it and get the Akuma out. He uses Second Chance, and then what we saw in the actual episode happened. And he couldn't go back because he actually collapsed from using the power too much. And that was actually what happened before. No, that was why he stopped doing it with Glaciator. We don't see why he stops with Dark Humor, but he's like, well, you know, I tried neutralizing her Lucky Charm, but she just detransformed and retransformed and then used it again. So that doesn't work either. So Natalie tells him, look, you know, this isn't working, and you're accelerating the cataclysm, because he brings that up, that every time he uses Second Chance, he still remembers everything that happens, but his body is also still progressing through time. So basically he's, you know, every time he goes back 5 minutes and then gains another 5 minutes, that adds 5 more minutes onto his life. Which means that Adrian is quite a bit older than now. So he's like half it. Oh gosh, how many? I don't remember how long he said that he'd been going at it, but I know somebody did the math for how long he'd been going. It had been like months. So Adrian is now several months older than he used to be. Which makes me wonder how old Luca is now. So I guess he and Julika aren't actually twins anymore, because he's technically older than her. So biologically, they're no longer twins. But anyways, so because of all that time being added onto his body, that's caused Cataclysm to continue to expand. So Natalie sits him down and is like, look, you know, you're using up all the time you have left. It's time you start thinking about, you know, giving up going after the miraculous and start thinking about what we're gonna do for Adrian, because you don't have much time left. I don't have much time left. You need to start thinking about who's going to take care of your son and how he's going to basically survive once they're gone. So it's like, yeah, you know, you're not going to be around forever. You need to have a plan for what's going to happen with your son. So he starts making breakfast for Adrian again, and they're chatting, and he's like, oh, listen, Adrian, you know, do you have anyone that you really like spending time with, that you're close to? And Adrian was about to say Marinette, and then Marinette calls. And this is where they showcase that Marinette is actually working on herself. She's like, hey, Adrian, it's me, and I called you completely out of the blue without a plan. Aren't you proud of me? And he's like, yeah, that's great. So you didn't come up with a whole bunch of different things for us to talk about before calling? So that means that Adrian is actually, like, he's actually helping Marinette to recover, which is totally awesome. I absolutely love that. So he's kind of becoming her therapist at this point, which she needs therapy, though she really should have a professional therapist and not just her boyfriend, who also needs therapy and is also a child. But hey, baby steps, you know, it's not like her parents are gonna get her into therapy, because they don't take it seriously. Oh my goodness, that's been something I've been thinking about for a while. That's a topic for another video. But anyways, so like she admits that she did come up with some conversation topics, but you know, but they're like, you know, that's okay, because you know, you're still working on it. You just started working on it. And she's like, but I didn't come up with any conversation topics for the launch later today, for the interview that we're going to be doing at school. They get interrupted when Gabriel collapses because the cataclysm damage is affecting his heart. So, you know, he collapses coughing, and Adrian hangs up on Marinette to go take care of his father. And then Gabriel is like, oh, no, actually, I'm fine, you know, oh, hey, that launch, that was happening, you know, you should go to that, you know, go be with your friends. So, you know, Adrian is, like, still worried about his dad, but he's like, okay, well, you know, I'll go, but I'm still worried about you. So, he goes to school with Marinette and the rest of their class, and they talk to Max's mom, who actually gets a name in this episode. Her name is Claudie, not Claudine. I keep wanting to think Claudine, but it's Claudie. And so she's Claudie Conte. I need to go and adjust that in my Sims game, because I don't remember what name I gave her before, actually, if I looked that up before. But anyways, so Claudie is testing out this new rocket ship for the Tsurugi group, and Gabriel decides to call Tomoe and try to get the access code to the AI that's being used on the ship, which was developed using the technology that Max had invented for Markov. So, because he made that free online for public use, and Tomoe, you know, downloaded that and started adapting that. So, but Tomoe is very unsure about Gabriel in this moment. It's like she's very suspicious about him. It's like, you know, why do you want these codes? What are you doing? Are you doing something dangerous? Something you shouldn't be doing? And Monarch, like, he's already transformed as Monarch and is using Second Chance anytime she gets suspicious of him, until she finally gives him the access code that he wants, and then he uses Second Chance one more time to go back to before he called her, so that she doesn't know where he got the access codes from, or even that he has them. would have been interesting seeing a scene of Tomoe yelling at him for that. It's like, did you use that power to get those codes from me? How dare you betray my trust? But the episode was already long enough as it is. We had a lot going on, though there were some stuff they could have cut out. But anyways, so he gets the access codes and waits for this test to happen, where they test out all the different features of the ship that are intended to protect the pilot. And one of the protections, the failsafes, is in case the pilot gets ejected from the craft and is lost in space. So the AI on board will go and pick her up. Well, Gabriel turns off all of her sensors so that she can't hear anything from the cockpit. She can't detect any vital signs or anything. So she thinks that Claudia is still in space. And they I forget what the full name is, but they abbreviate to ADA. And it kind of seems like they were calling her Ada for short, which is kind of cute. But, you know, Ada is freaking out because she doesn't realize that Claudia is in the cockpit and that she's perfectly fine and safe, and that the test was a success. And that's when Monarch comes out onto the Eiffel Tower and creates an illusion of a meteor coming to space, and calls out to Ladybug and Cat Noir to say, hey, you have 3 choices. You can go save the pilot, go stop the meteor, or you can give me your miraculous and I'll stop both. And, you know, so they sneak off and go transform. It was actually kind of cute because Marinette, like, looks at Alia and, you know, they nod and is like, Alia, I'm not really feeling too well. I think I'm gonna go to the nurse's office. Oh, okay, take care of yourself. And then Adrian, being the good boyfriend that he is, and also needing an excuse to go off and transform too, it's like, oh, I'll take you, Marinette. It's like, great! Yeah, thanks, Adrian! So he drops her off at the nurse's office and then goes to transform. And then Marinette manages to make an excuse for the nurse and goes to transform. That was kind of funny. But, so they transform into, Astrobug and I forget, and Cosmobug and Astrocat. And Astrocat is like, well, you know, what if it's an illusion? And Ladybug's like, well, we can't really take that chance, so let's split up and go take care of both. You know, you take the meteor, I'll take the pilot. So they go and do that, and so it's hard to talk about both because both are happening at the exact same time. Cat Noir goes up to Cataclysm the meteor, and I'm just gonna call them by their regular names because I'm used to saying Cat Noir and Ladybug versus Astrocat and Cosmobug. But yeah, so Ladybug goes up to try and talk some sense into Ada, tell her like, hey, listen, everything's fine. Claudia's in the cockpit, you're fine. But Ada is still freaking out, so Monarch akumatizes her and convinces her that Ladybug is trying to force her to come back so that she can be tested on and they can risk more pilots. Because Ada is actually freaking out and trying to leave the planet so that she doesn't put more pilots in danger. And Monarch is like, yeah, Ladybug's gonna drag you back so that they could put more pilots inside of you and lose more people. So he akumatizes Ada, and I don't even remember what her name was, like Bug Crusher or something? But anyway, so yeah, she captures Ladybug, is about to steal her earrings. Meanwhile, Cat Noir has just cataclysmed the meteor and is now stuck inside of Shelter. At first he managed to dodge it, but then Monarch went back in time and used with Second Chance and then managed to catch him the second time, which they did spend a little bit of extra time going back and recapping all of this stuff that just happened. The second time around they do a better job of it, but if we cut that out a little bit further, maybe we could have gotten a little bit more into the episode, but regardless, so Cat Noir is, you know, fighting Monarch inside of the Shelter, and Monarch is trying to get his ring. And he realizes that the second chance is going. So he tells Ladybug, like, hey, Monarch is using second chance, but you know what? I could use a second chance of my own. And he presses the ring so that it activates second chance and sends him back in time. Which then has Monarch on attempt 3 deciding to instead use Pollen's power to paralyze him so that he won't be able to warn Ladybug, he won't be able to fight back. But then as he's trying to steal Cat Noir's ring, Claudie manages to break through the glass per Ladybug's instructions, and that alerts Ada to the fact that, wait, what's going on? Is there somebody inside of me after all? Oh no, it was an asteroid. But there was no asteroids anywhere nearby. I'm sensing deception here. You're lying to me, and she breaks through. She breaks free of the Akuma, which causes Monarch to use second chance again, and no matter what he does and how many times he redoes everything, Ada manages to sense the deception and break free of the Akuma. So, after many more attempts of trying to get this plan to work, he winds up giving up. He uses second chance again to completely reset back to the very beginning of the launch. So, as far as anyone else is concerned, Monarch never got involved with the launch. He never interfered. There was never an issue. Nobody hacked the system. Ada never malfunctioned. The test was a success, and Claudie got to come home. And that was it. But because of how many times he used second chance, that caused some problems for Gabriel, because now he's just completely wiped out. The Cataclysm is about ready to kill him at this point. And the next thing we know, he's waking up in his office with Adrian and Natalie hovering over him. Adrian is extremely worried about his dad, which he would be at this point. And Gabriel again is like, oh no, I'm fine, I'm just tired from all this work and from releasing Alliance and from this new collection that I'm working on. So, you know, maybe I should put all that on hold just to spend some time with you. Which is like, from Adrian's perspective, it's super sweet, but it's also like, we know that that's not gonna be the case, because, yeah, episodes are out of order, and we've seen what happens after this. But, yeah, then Adrian gets a call from Marinette, but, you know, he's like, oh, I'm worrying about my father right now. And Gabriel's like, no, that's okay, you go hang out with your friends. And that's when he and Natalie start talking again, and Natalie lays into him for being so reckless, and for putting his life in danger, and for using up what little time he has left with his son. So, it's like, yeah, okay, you know, maybe you have a point here, but we know that he's not done yet, so, you know what? Gabriel, like, gosh darn it. I think it is actually after this episode. In fact, it might have been this next episode after this one, where we see Tomoe trying to cure Gabriel, and it doesn't work all the way, but at least gives him some more time, which would make sense. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch the season. Which, yeah, I've been planning to do for a while. Now that episode 15 is out, I'm hoping to go back and completely rewatch Season 5 from the beginning, all the way up until episode 21, just to be like, yeah, this is the order of events, here's the continuity. So, yeah, maybe I'll even make a video about, like, the continuity and everything. You know, here's the different plot points of the season, here's how they fit in order, here's how they interact with each other. But, yeah, let me know if you guys want to see that. We did get one last scene at the end, but it wasn't really a big thing. It wasn't even a very long scene. It was just like a couple of seconds of Ladybug and Cat Noir up on the roof, and Ladybug is like, I find it strange that Monarch has never used the power of second chance. And he's like, I think we're just lucky. It's like, Fourth wall breaking. But this was very much a Gabriel episode, though. It's always nice getting episodes that are, like, focused on someone other than Marinette and Adrian. Like, I love the Adrian episodes, you guys know that. But, like, even if it's an episode that's not about him, if it's about someone who's not him or Marinette, that's also fine. Like, yeah. We need to flesh out these other characters more. And this is the last season we're gonna get to be able to flesh out Gabriel and possibly Natalie as well, because Gabriel even asked her, you know, how much time do you have left at the end there, and Natalie just sort of looks at him in silence and sits down. It's like, yeah, Natalie will probably die at the end of this series too, if they don't find some sort of cure for her. But Gabriel, we already know, I haven't seen any leaks or anything yet, but you know he's gonna die by the end of the season, and all of Paris is going to rejoice, and the entire fandom is going to rejoice, because Adrian will finally be free from his toxic father. But I'll go ahead and leave that here for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos from me. We do all sorts of fun stuff on this channel, including playing video games, we do art, and also sometimes talk about cartoons and anime. So if you enjoy this stuff, then be sure to ring that bell icon and never miss a video. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I hope you all have a very magical day.